Tariffs are currently driving the discussion around international trade. This type of regulation can have a significant impact on product prices, a country's economy, and major industries such as automotive. But what are the different types of tariffs, why are they implemented, and who ultimately ends up paying for them? I'm AutoVista24 journalist Tom Hooker, here to explain all you need to know about tariffs. Most countries are limited by their natural resources and ability to produce certain goods and services. This means they need to trade with other countries. However, these trades are not always straightforward. Factors such as geopolitics and competition can make trading partners unhappy. One way countries deal with this is by placing a tariff on their trading partner. This is a form of trade regulation and a policy that taxes foreign products. Governments can set, raise or lower tariffs on goods that are imported from another country, or when they export their products to another country. If import tariffs are raised, they can increase the price of goods and services that originate from another country, making them less attractive to domestic consumers. This means they may choose a domestic product instead, which without the tariff becomes a more favourable option. However, the consumer may still choose the imported product, meaning the tariff can raise the final price of the item if the producer has to pass on the cost of the tariff to the customer. The import tariff and the export tariff are often different values. Import tariffs are usually higher to protect domestic businesses. There are two main types of tariffs. A specific tariff is a fixed fee based on the type of product being imported or exported. For example, a €500 tariff on every new car imported into the country, regardless of its original price. Then there are ad valorem tariffs, which are based on an item's value, such as a 6% import rate. Typically, tariffs are ad valorem, or in other words, implemented as a percentage of a product's value. Any type of tariff can be classed as a punitive tariff if it taxes an import at a very high rate, often to punish perceived perpetrators in response to particular practices. Tariffs can be implemented for multiple reasons. Firstly, like all taxes, they provide a source of government revenue. They can be used to protect struggling domestic industries from international competition by raising the price of foreign products, making domestic goods more attractive. This is often to safeguard companies and jobs. Tariffs can also be put in place to retaliate against other countries' perceived unfair trade practices, which can make their exports artificially cheap. For example, countervailing duties can be applied when another country subsidises a domestic industry, meaning they can export and sell products at a lower price compared to if they are in a free market. Then there are anti-dumping tariffs, which are similarly implemented if foreign goods are being sold at lower prices than in their home market. They can also provide stability by making prices more predictable. Before we discuss who pays for tariffs, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with the latest automotive industry developments. The cost of the tariff is collected by the National Customs Authority of the country in which the goods are being brought into. So, in simple terms, it goes to the government which imposes the tariff. The tariff is occasionally paid by the company exporting the product, but usually it's accounted for by the company importing the product. Companies may choose to pass on some or all of these tariff costs to customers. They can also choose to absorb these costs, meaning their revenue from each sale is reduced. The implementation of tariffs can come with other undesirable side effects. With foreign goods now being more expensive, domestic producers can raise their prices and still remain competitive, meaning consumers must spend more regardless of which product they pick. This makes the population of the country implementing the tariffs poorer overall. It also means that industries using domestic products as inputs see their purchasing power decline due to higher domestic prices. Furthermore, exporters may have to move production inside the country to avoid the extra tariff cost. Placing high import tariffs can create tensions between trading partners that can lead to retaliatory tariffs. Ultimately, this can create a trade war, ensuring that the export industry and consumers will be hit in both countries. In particular, tariffs can have a significant impact on the automotive industry because many car makers have a heavy reliance on trading outside of their domestic market. For example, European car manufacturers exported €56 billion worth of vehicles and components to the US in 2023, and exports to the US represent 15% of the European automotive output. New car prices can rise when tariffs are implemented, and this can be due to many reasons. Some vehicle components are made up of hundreds of parts. They may be manufactured in different stages in different countries before arriving at the vehicle manufacturing plant to be fitted. Therefore, items such as the engine may cross multiple borders before being installed in a car, incurring the tariff cost each time it returns to the country that imposed them. Material costs can increase if they need to be imported from another country, and even if car makers try to avoid this by sourcing domestically, these companies can raise their prices. Car makers can choose to move production into the country that imposed the tariff. However, this is a big startup cost and not something that can be achieved overnight. Regardless of how a car maker tries to adapt to a tariff, their profit margins are likely to fall. However, used cars can benefit from tariffs, becoming a more attractive option to consumers compared to the increased price of new car offerings. Ultimately though, the consumer will likely suffer, as prices will rise, and brands may just reduce their exports if the tariff is too high, giving the buyer less choice. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can discover more of our What Is video series, as well as our launch reports and webinar videos. Also check out autovista24.com for the latest automotive industry analysis, and while you're there, sign up for our free daily email. Thanks very much for watching.